Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm honored and I'm happy to have the opportunity to call upon an international Alaskan rabbi who has touched many souls in this world and has made many people happy. It is a privilege and an honor for me to call him a friend of the family and a personal friend of mine. Please put your hands together for Rabbi Ronnie Greenwald.
Good work. I actually spent an incredible Shabbos with many new people that I just met that are friends of the Rosenbergs. I want to start with a little story, which I usually do when I speak. This fella wanted to know about Shabbos. He had questions about Shabbos. So his friend tells him, he says, I'll tell you what. You want to know about Shabbos? I have a Hasidic friend. Go to his house on Shabbos. You'll see Shabbos, and you have all your answers. He goes to his friend. He comes Friday night. What do? They make Kiddush, 12-ounce cup of wine, everybody around the table, wine. It comes to the fish, a glass of schnapps. It comes to dessert, a little liqueur. He goes to shul the next day. What do you do after you daven? Nachamol Kiddush, glass of wine. He comes home. What do you do? Again Kiddush, another cup of wine. Goes back to shul, comes home for Havdalah, a big glass of wine. He comes to his friend. His friend says, "No, do you know about Shabbos?" He says, "I'll tell you what. I'm still not sure why you couldn't put the lights off and on, but I know why you're not allowed to drive." Not allowed to drive because you're drinking. No. I thought that was a funny story. I guess it's not so. Miriam, what did I do wrong with that story? I'm asking my wife. Anyway, last week, I thought the bar mitzvah was last week, so I have a vote from the last week's Sedra. Last week, it says right after Chamishi, Midvar. Listen, guys, in the back, you got to listen. Actually, this is for you guys to hear, the bar mitzvah boys' friends. It says Midvar Sheker Tirchak. You should move a distance away from Sheker. Why doesn't it say by killing, you should move away from Ritzicha, Avodah Zarah, Tirchak, be farther away from Avodah Zarah? Why by Sheker does it say you should be at a distance? I mean, I think it's a pretty solid question. Why is the Tirchak just by Sheker? So there are two thoughts. If somebody calls Ruvain owes Shimon $100. So Shimon calls Ruvain's house, and he says, I want to speak to Ruvain. And Ruvain knows that Shimon is calling because he owes him money. So he says to his wife, I'm going to step outside of the house. So when he calls and he asks if I'm home, you'll say, I'm not home. That's one instance. The Gemara in the Durham brings a case where a man owed money, and he said he paid. So they brought him to Bezdin, the Gemara in the Durham, they brought him to Bezdin, and he had to swear, so he put the money in a cane, and when he had to make the shvu on the Torah, he gave the cane to the guy that he owes the money. So when he swore, he said, I paid him back the money. The money was in the cane. And then he took the cane back. Technically, it's the truth. He gave him back the money. Ruvain wasn't home, he was outside. So technically it wasn't Sheker. But the reason why it says Midvar Sheker Tircha, that even if it's a little further away, like the guy is outside the house. The sheker is far. Or the money is in the cane. It's still sheker. And when you tell a lie, listen closely. When you kill somebody, it's not likely that the next day you're going to kill somebody else. Or if you steal, it's not likely that you're going to steal again right away. But when you tell a lie, you have to lie right away again. Lying has within it the koyach that in order to keep the lie going, you have to keep lying. And that's why it says tirchak. The other averas, you do an avera, you may do another one, but when you lie, it's immediate. Shabbos, you know, when I came to Florida, and Mark and Leah invited me to come to the bar mitzvah, Mark said, spend some time here. I have a place for you, you'll be comfortable. And the truth is, I thought the bar mitzvah was last week. So I got another week of Florida. You can't imagine. It's not just the week in Florida, but the way Miriam and I were hosted by Mark and by Leah, the way they treated us, the way they took care of us, the caring and concern. But I had another opportunity. I had opportunity to watch Mark deal with Yossi the bar mitzvah boy, with Josh, with Debbie, and Danielle, and I watched it. We're living in very difficult times, extremely difficult times. Bringing up children today is more difficult than in my days. And I watched carefully the way Mark dealt with his kids, the way he gave each one time. Each one, whatever issue they had, he spent time with them. Believe me, he had every excuse in the world from when he was 8 years old in yeshiva to later on in life to be dysfunctional. He had enough excuses to say, I don't know how to be a parent. He took the negative experiences in his life and made them positive. Whatever he went through, he took that energy that would have made somebody dysfunctional and made him a functional family. And I watched the way he cares. I had issues that I had things on some levels that were very serious about families, very serious issues that nobody was prepared to step into. Because people look at you and say, it's not your business, why are you involved? And it bothers Mark to see somebody suffering. It mamish bothers him. And I have a terrific partner when I call him up and say, Mark, I need your help. So for us, for Mary and myself, to be at this simcha is very special. To see the joy of last Shabbos with his family, to see us eating in the sukkah and sitting in his jacuzzi in the back of the back, you can't imagine the joy we had that the Rosenbergs supplied for us. So my bracha to you and your family is Yossi is just like Josh said. He's a kind kid. He's really a kind kid. I watched him. Yossi, I watched him. You're a good boy, Yossi. Like the Rebbe said, you're good. He's a wonderful young man. And to be at his bar mitzvah is a pleasure. And I thank you all for spending the time listening to me to go on and on. Thank you very much.